All right, here we are in Glacier National Park. I'm with some colleagues from the Montana Bureau of Geology, and we are headed up to what's called the crown of the continent. And so we're walking to the west on a nice August morning, and you can see the peaks off in the distance. The small sort of triangular peak, the brown peak, more or less straight ahead, is called Triple Divide Peak. So off that peak, the drainages go to 3 different oceans. So right now we're in the Atlantic drainage. So this water would end up in the Atlantic Ocean. Over the top and to the left, to the south, is the Pacific drainage. So water coming down, flowing that way would end up in the Pacific Ocean. And then over the top and to the right, it ends up in Hudson Bay, up in Canada. So a really special place here in Glacier National Park. Of course, all of these rocks that we're seeing are the belt formation, between 1.4 and 1.7 or 1.47 billion years old, and have been carved out by the glaciation in this area. So just spectacular vistas, and we hope to get up to this Triple Divide Pass and check it out. So I'm walking up here with Dr. Stuart Parker. He's an MBMG mapper, and he's spent a lot of time, more than most people, looking at belt rocks. And so we're coming up here on a couple outcrops of belt rocks. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, so you can see this bright brick red, and this strikes me as probably being of the Grinnell Formation. I'll have to check a map to see if that's correct, but the cool thing about the Grinnell Formation is there are mud cracks everywhere. So anywhere we can look on a bedding plane, we can see these incredible mud cracks. Like this surface right here has tons of mud cracks, and you can see them where the mud dried out, it was exposed to air, and it cracked, and you see these cracks coming together at these triple junctions, and we find these everywhere in the Grinnell Formation.
So where, like if you were out somewhere now, can we see a modern example of them forming?
Definitely. The easiest place to find this is just a mud puddle after a rainstorm. As it dries up, the saturated mud shrinks and it cracks. And the dead giveaway for mud cracks is these little triple junctions are very common, where the cracks intersect and then they stop. They don't cross each other on the other side. They sort of connect like little junctions. And so it's a very common thing. After the next rainstorm, go find a mud puddle and you'll see the same thing.
Very cool. And how old is this Grinnell?
It's about 1.5 billion years old. And this is preserved, you know, this is a day in the life about 1.5 billion years ago.
Very neat. Really fun to be able to think about what was actually happening at this spot that long ago.
Yeah.
Of course, back then there wasn't much in the way of life, right? Just kind of bacteria and that sort of thing?
Yeah, the only thing you would see is this surface would have been a little bit scummy. It would have had a little bit of a sort of algal film to it, like if you walk on sort of a stagnant beach. But that's about it. Nothing crawling around, nothing swimming.
Wow. One of the things I just love about geology is coming out here on a beautiful day in an absolutely marvelous spot and then expanding your mind to this deep time and being able to interpret what might have been going on.
Oh, hey Steve, check this out.
What you got?
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of mud cracks. They're really common. But what's a little harder to find is these ripples. And so this face here has some mud cracks, but it also has some great ripples. So if you see on this surface, I can tell from the shape that the water was flowing this direction into the basin. And so this is a really great surface where we have shallow, flowing, muddy water making these ripples on the bottom as it flowed along.
Cool. So it's kind of like you can see today at the beach when the tide comes in or out and they have shallow water moving around?
Exactly. Just flowing water, really shallow.
And you said that the mud cracks are much more common in these belt rocks, in this unit of the belt rocks, and these ripples are a little more special to find.
They are, yep.
Awesome. Cool. Let's see what else we find.
Yeah.
What are these folks doing here? All right.
Wow, it's a good one.
You guys enjoying Stuart's office?
Yeah. Great views.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. Check this out.
Well, I'm busy looking at the view back here. What do you got in the rocks?
Yeah, I have
haven't seen this yet. There are these little tiny circular dimples in the mud. There's a mud crack right here, so we know this was exposed to air. So I believe these are little raindrop impressions.
Like preserving, like a little, like sprinkling, essentially, right?
Yep, so individual raindrops hitting the exposed wet mud and just slightly leaving an impression.
And that's on the same surface as we're creating these mud cracks, right? Obviously, yeah.
It is, so it must have dried
Wow.
out and then the next rain came in.
I mean, those are the size of like a small pea.
They are,
And
tiny.
You must just have to have the perfect conditions to preserve those.
Absolutely.
Wow. What a spot, huh?
Yeah, that's a great find.
Well, I'm going to continue looking at these big views.
All right.
You keep your eye on the rocks for me, would you?
I'll find more raindrops.
Excellent. Another wonderful view here. Now I'm looking to the south, to my right, to the west, Triple Divide Peak, and all of these glacial features. The Tarn Lake over to the southwest, east, in that hanging valley, the nice glacial lake down below us. And then straight to the west, coming up the trail, are my colleagues from the Montana Bureau of Mines and Geology. And so a great group of people checking out rocks on this absolutely beautiful summer day. Some work days are better than others. To the top. Here we are, making it to the Triple Divide Pass. Still walking to the west, and this is where the water drains to 3 different oceans surrounding the North American continent. Wow, just more spectacular Glacier National Park scenery. Now in 360 degrees. Holy moly. This is really spectacular.
Yes, that's okay. Wow.